This video is brought to you by Sun King Discs. Go to sunkingdiscs.com for a full selection of disc golf merchandise from all the major brands. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my review of the Aquaflight Dragonfly. This is an understable mid-range. Big thank you to Sun King Discs for sponsoring this video. Go to sunkingdiscs.com to check out the website, or just click the link in the description to see the huge selection of plastic and other gear that they have available on the website. Sun King has been awesome to work with over the last few years. I really appreciate their support, and thanks to them. Thanks to all of you guys for watching the videos, and big shout out to the Disc Golf Nerd Patreon support team. For as little as $2 a month, you can help financially support the channel and help me keep the ball rolling here and getting all this content out there for you guys. So thanks to everybody. Let's get into the review of the Aquaflight Dragonfly. So these are very lightweight, floating, understable mid-ranges, kind of designed for beginners, kids, brand new players, that sort of thing. They are very, very low profile, as you can see here, and they're very lightweight. This one is 137 grams. This one is 142 on my scale. I definitely noticed that this one was a little bit less flippy than this one. This one is extremely unstable. Put the little yellow one aside for now and just take a look at the stamp on this one. Dragonfly, straight to understable mid-range. For us, I would just say it's a very understable mid-range, but I've been playing for a long time. James throws even farther than I do. Andy throws farther than I do. So we're all kind of experienced. I wish I had like a brand new player to test these for the review, but that's just not something I really had available to me. So we're just kind of rolling with what we got here. But keep in mind throughout the testing and the filming of this disc, that they are meant for brand new players, so it's kind of a little bit tricky of a disc for me to review, to be honest. Floats in water. I did not test that personally, but just feeling how light they are and knowing that that was kind of the point, I'm sure that they do. Like, it would be really, I would be shocked if for some reason they didn't actually float. They feel like they float. Let's give it that. Let's put it that way. They're extremely light for sure. I'm sure that's no problem. The plastic is kind of like maybe like a DX type plastic. It's pretty grippy, and overall I really like the feel of the disc. It's very low profile again, as we can see here. Super shallow, not much meat on the rim at all. Very rounded as well. Like, it's kind of a little bit of a squared edge there, but all the edges are really soft and rounded over. So it's a really, really comfortable feeling disc in the hand. And I also think for kids or anybody with smaller hands, it's going to feel great too. And even for people with big sausage hands like me, it feels great. I love the feel of this thing, no problems there. And the plastic is quite grippy. It did take some damage, really just being thrown in the field, and then I think it might have landed on some walking paths or something a couple of times, and there's a little bit of damage in there. So definitely not the most durable plastic, but not really designed to be. Kind of more of a baseline feel to this plastic. So the yellow one, like I said, being 137 grams, definitely noticeably more understable and more difficult to control. It's only 5 grams, but it's definitely, there's a difference for sure. And I noticed that difference long before I even weighed these. I hadn't weighed them until just before I sat down to film this video. And yeah, 137 grams, that was not surprising to me based on the testing and stuff. So really flat across the top, which is another thing that I like about them. I showed you the rim there. I definitely like the feel. Let's put it up next to a couple other options, as I always like to do. First of all, closest thing in my bag would be a fuse. Fuse definitely less understable, I would say. And you can see it's deeper for sure. It's got more of a rounded top for sure as well. The fuse also has that kind of implied bead there, where it's almost a bead, but it's not super defined. Hopefully you're getting a good look at that, but there it is next to the fuse. Also, another option that I kind of keep in my stash, really just for the same purpose, to give to brand new players and beginners that might come out on the course with me, and this is a Wombat. It's a G-Star Wombat. Again, much more dome to the Wombat, like a lot more dome. compared to the Dragonfly, which is pretty much bored flat. Like, you lay it flat, yeah, it's flat for sure. And then the Wombat does have that big bead, super unique, strange disc, the Wombat. But I also think really underrated, and it's a good flying disc that really does work. It's extremely straight, it holds really nice turns, and it has just a ton of glide. So there it is, next to a couple other options. Overall, like I said, I like the feel quite a bit. I think this plastic would break in very quickly, and based on how understable they are to start, as they got beat up, they would probably become really flippy, and you probably have to replace them relatively quickly if you're hitting trees or landing off of concrete or anything like that with these. So let's talk about the flight of this thing. You're going to see, for me, for Andy, for James, it's going to be extremely understable for us. Really not designed for us, and to a degree, I almost don't want to put the footage in there and act like I'm reviewing this because like it's a regular disc for a regular player. It's really a beginner disc, and I think honestly it's best suited for kids. If you're looking for a disc to give to a younger person in your life, whether it's your son or daughter, niece, nephew, cousin, whatever it is, this could be a phenomenal choice for that, because it's got that small rim. It's very understable, will allow them to kind of let it stand up, maybe even roll over a little bit and come back, stretch a little extra distance. Very lightweight, so it's going to float in the air, float in water if they throw a bad shot that ends up in the drink. All that kind of stuff is good in terms of a kid's disc from my perspective. For more adult type players that are getting into this sport, it still might be a little understable for my tastes. I think you might be better off with something a little bit more neutral than this. If you're looking for something that will definitely flip, like a understable utility disc, that's pretty much what I would use it for if I were to try to bag this disc. It would be for trick shots. It'd be for times where I didn't have much of a swing and I just need to kind of pop something out there and let it float straight and get me out of trouble. Or if I wanted to throw something on a slight hyzer too flat and still get it down on a roller, this is a great disc for that. If I wanted something that I know 100% will always turn over if I give it any kind of power, could be a good option for that. And there are some folks out there that aren't kids, that are maybe not even beginners, but just don't have a ton of power. Maybe you're not super mobile, you have like a disability issue or something like that where you have to throw from a standstill or whatever the case might be. Could be a great option for that. And for any players that struggle to get a disc from moving from left to right, if you don't have a forehand like I kind of don't, and you have a little bit of trouble pulling over your mid-ranges on that anhyzer angle, this is a disc you can throw slight hyzer, even flat. If you put some pop on it, it's going to move right and stay moving right for the majority of the flight, if not all of the flight, based on our testing. So if you're struggling with that and you need something that's understable that'll really help you get around the corner left to right, this could be a good option for any player in that respect. For me, it'd be more of a understable utility trick type disc, get out of trouble disc. Or those really flippy kind of techie shots like Ulibarri will throw with his super beat up Avenger SS, or something you might see Simon throw with a D-line FD, that sort of thing, for any kind of experienced player whatsoever. But ultimately, I really do think these are probably one of the best options that I've run into for kids discs, and I think that's what they're best suited for. And for that, I think they'll work quite well. That is my review on the Aquaflight Dragonfly. Big thank you once again to Sun King Discs for sponsoring this and so many other reviews over the last few years. I really appreciate their support. They've been awesome to work with. And big thank you once again to all of my viewers and supporters out there, especially those that are members of the Disc Golf Nerd Patreon support team and who help me produce the content with their financial support. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you all very soon. Cheers.
With a Dragonfly coming in.
Oh, now you can throw it.
Oh, on the island! Oh!
Thank you so much for watching, and big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. If you would like to see your name listed in the credits of all of my videos, go to patreon.com/discgolfnerd.